in the theater when that was unspooling during the last 25 minutes where it's ending after ending after ending. You would have heard me mutter, "Can we just end this fucking thing already?" And Justice League, whatever. I mean, I know it's not fully his fault. But after watching that, I just got the impression that there was some producer in the background saying, yeah, just get us to the next action beat.
Actually, one of the things that troubled me about the Snyder trailer is that I am the fan of the JLA movie that was released. But I know that puts me not in, the fan mainstream. But forgetting about Zack Snyder entirely, I was interested, Stuart, when you were talking about maybe Warner's having to build up more of a trust among the audience that they'll want to go to any of their movies for New Gods, because I was kind of thinking of, as far you made you compared them unfavorable to Marvel, and I was thinking even of Marvel as the benchmark that might get New Gods made, because I'm thinking, the real canary in a coal mine for its commercial prospects will be the Eternals. Since that's going to, whatever happens, that's going to beat New Gods to the theaters. And, I wonder if DC is looking towards that to see, well, can we do a movie about a pantheon that no one's ever heard of? And
yeah, I mean, I got to admit, I was thinking Eternals was a risk too. But I mean, you know what? Who knows? The thing about Hollywood is nobody knows anything. Maybe they'll use New Gods as a jumping off point.
Yeah, could be. Well, I mean, you even see that in Snyder's MO, because obviously Fourth World mythos is permeated through his version of Justice League a lot more than what ended up in the theatrical version.
Yeah, I think you know what? If Zack Snyder's going to weave in a lot of that stuff, and Ava DuVernay and I forget the name of the writer,
Tom King
are going to pull threads from that, I mean, that gives New Gods a leg up in getting made.
I didn't realize Tom King was scripting New Gods.
Yeah, they rotated him in to collaborate with DuVernay a few months ago. It was like a little bit into the process, but I guess it was the acclaim for his Mr. Miracle series that people thought qualified him.
Yeah, I just finished reading it the other day, and it's great. I love it. Right now, I'm reading his Strange Adventures, which is excellent also. And I love the modern version of Mr. Terrific. I think he's just such a cool character.
He's fascinating, yeah. DC needs a proper Reed Richards, and he fills the bill.
Yeah, but he's not not an asshole like Reed is. Don't get me wrong. I love Reed as a character, but he's such a colossal douche.
That's true. Yeah, he doesn't. This Mr. Terrific does not fall in love with his own accomplishments. Yes, he knows that the truly educated man is always aware of what's left to learn.
Yeah, that's what I really like about particularly King's portrayal of him. And anytime I get to see Adam Strange in a book, I'm totally psyched about it. And once again, we were talking about things that piss off comics, Kate. I love how those guys go after somebody like Tom King and question his military service.
It worked for John Kerry, right? So
yeah, I guess it did. It's just absolutely hilarious.
Even though, I mean, I still have a bad taste lingering in my mouth, even though it was exploited by idiotic gators, a bad taste left by that whole flap with Tom King and Jay Lee.
Yeah.
He really, Tom King should have really measured twice and cut once in that case, and, given some thought to what he sounded like. But,
yeah, I agree with that. I wasn't sure. I didn't even realize that Jay had any kind of tangential connection the comicscape, but a lot of times
Neither
it's
did
tough
Jay,
not to.
apparently.
Yeah. So yeah, now that was poorly done. But anyway, so we'll just we just have to see what the Snyder cut is like. I do find it interesting that he's like, oh yeah, my cut of the film would have been 4 hours long and would have had characters that I didn't have in the script, and but then again, it's who knows if it makes somebody happy, that's fine. I mean, it's not hurting me. I don't need to watch it.
I do love though that he seems to be filming it like the release the Snyder cut battle having been won. Now he like hunkered down to actually make the movie.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break, folks, and we will be back with the Literate revisit of the Hammer horror classic Twins of Evil right after the jump. Okay, welcome back once again to the Literate Nerds, folks. I am here with my guests, Mr. Stuart Goldstein and Mr. Adam McGovern, and we are going to talk about the wonderful Hammer Horror Studios vampire classic, Twins of Evil, which is just... I love this movie. It's so goofy and fun. I mean, I certainly don't think it's the best thing that Hammer ever did, but it is one of my faves of theirs. So anyway, I'm sorry about this. I meant to have the IMDb available. There we go. I finally came up with it. Come on, would you please open?
That IMDb, by the way, fosters my very first question.
And that is?
Oh, if I can say it before the IMDb has been.
Yes, no, I just managed to open it. Yes, actually, now, which is terrible.
On time. They claim in the trivia. I'm pretty sure it was the IMDb page. They claim in the trivia that since the Collingswood twins, or whatever the names are, I think I'm crossing that.
The Collinson, Mary and Madeline Collinson.
Okay, I'm thinking of the estate in Dark Shadows then, but they claim on IMDb that the twins still had such heavy Maltese accents at the time that this was filmed that Hammer, quote, did what it usually did and simply dubbed British voices onto them. And, I wouldn't have been able to tell, while I was watching that was the case. I mean, if so, they probably, used their budget up on dubbing that they would have used on, believable beheading effects, I guess. But
I guess that could explain why I thought their lines were just a wee bit out of sync all the time.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you had a better eye than me.
I didn't notice that. I'm certainly with Adam on that, but maybe there's certain parts of the twins that were distracting me while I was watching the film. I couldn't possibly know what that was, but anyway, Twins of Evil was directed by John Huff. It was written by Tudor Gates, based in somewhat the whole Karnstein trilogy that this film is part of is based somewhat on Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu. It starred, of course, the great Peter Cushing as Gustav Weil, who is a member of a puritanical order known as the Brotherhood. And we start off with Peter Cushing and his posse of fellows murdering a man and taking his spouse to be burned at the stake, all the while praying for mercy on her soul. So right off the bat, we know Peter Cushing is not exactly a nice guy. And so after Cushing murders this man and his wife for believing that they are somehow involved with the devil. The twins come riding in on a horse and carriage the next morn, past a group of peasants, and the evil twin, Frida, notices Count Karstein's castle and is quite enamored by it. And the Karstein's castle sits atop the hill, and rather ominously overlooking the town. Now, at this point, I was watching with the subtitles on, and the subtitles say ducks quacking. And those waterfowl on the screen are clearly geese.
Ah, very true. Their quacking was quite distinctive, though, I gotta say.
Okay. So another thing with Hammer, dubbing in the sound of ducks quacking when there are geese on the screen. Maybe the geese had Maltese accents.
Exactly. Yes.
Wrong waterfowl, 1 star.
I'm happy to hear that you had the captions on, Patrick, because now I know what was distracting you from the twins' accent.
Yes. That's exactly why I was looking down the entire time. So, of course, the local fuck boys are checking the twins out as they come riding up. And right off the bat, of course, we find out that, Vile, which is what Peter Cushing's character's name is a stuck-up prude and begins slut-shaming his nieces immediately.
Well, I mean, did you see what they were wearing? Come on.
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
I think I could make out some neck and ankle.
I mean, what he described them as? What, birds or something?
Something along those lines.
He says, "What plumage is this?"
Yes, exactly. There we go.
So, and then once again, Vile has a meeting with the Brotherhood, who might as well just be called the Proud Boys.
No, honestly, I thought it was the Monty Python and the Holy Grail sketch. He's a witch, burner.
I kept picturing Carol Cleveland in the role of every woman they burn. Yeah.
And I love that also Cushing takes a moment in the meeting of the Brotherhood and acts as maybe as if cooler heads would prevail. And then he's like, let's go out and kill him. We see that Frida is willful. Of course, she's going to be a bride of the devil. And we meet Karnstein hanging out at the place of his peasant girlfriend, Greta. And you know what? Initially, I thought Karnstein's hair was a wig, but later on, there's a close-up shot of him, and I looked pretty close, and I don't think it was. I think he's just got really spectacular hair, and
it's just an immortal undead bouffant.
It actually looked like the hair that's on a Lego person. It does.
Yeah. Oh, or you know what? It's like one of those Gary Anderson puppet hairs.
Yes.
Thunderbirds are go.
Yeah, perfect period. Same period.
So Vile shows up. Peter Cushing shows up to drag this girl Greta to be burned at the stake because any woman that isn't married or dressing up to her neck and to her ankles is got to be a witch in league with Satan. And, he says, of course, that, he answers to a higher authority. And I immediately thought, so does Hebrew National. Cushing pulls a gun out and is going to shoot the Count because the Count is, giving him the verbal smackdown. And the Count's manservant steps in between the two of them. And he's a rather impressive fellow. I'm trying to find the actor's name.
Oh, I found it earlier today, but yeah, I've forgotten it now.